It was only a pre-season friendly, but could the writing be on the wall when it comes to the end of season results? Celtic, the Scottish champions, have defeated DC United by 4-0. And is this the team that we're going to see become Scottish champions this season and win title 55? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's finished in Celtic's first game of their American tour. They have defeated DC United by 4-0. I think it was the best team in Scotland playing definitely one of the worst teams in America. Now, I looked at it, and statistically, DC United are not the worst team statistically, but they are one of the worst teams. If you look at the Eastern Conference, there's 15 teams in the league. DC United are currently in 13th place. However, they've played 2 games more than New England Revolution, who are behind them, and they're currently on a poor run of form. And apart from New England Revolution, they have the worst goal difference as well in the league. So I thought they looked very, very poor, but Celtic looked pretty decent as well. However, I expected more for DC United. Wasn't familiar with them, but I thought they'd put up more of a threat. I thought they'd have more quality than this, and they did not. And it's kind of sad because Celtic were tested more in their friendlies against Ayr United and Queen's Park than they were tonight. So, yeah, let's get into it then. Celtic obviously won by 4-0. They opened the scoring with Matt O'Reilly. He scored tonight. He actually scored the second goal as well. Will he still be at Celtic, though, to score goals in the upcoming season? We don't know, but he got 2 goals in the first half. Kyogo couldn't score. Kyogo denied by the goalkeeper, but not denied was Matt O'Reilly. The 2 goals obviously put Celtic in a commanding position. Probably what they deserved, to be honest, because they had been dominant. They also had more chances. I mean, it wasn't just the O'Reilly goals. Like, Kyogo did have some shots that was saved. Kuhn had an effort. Palma was going close. I mean, Celtic were playing well. They were creating chances. And, I mean, it was one-way traffic in the first half and the second half, to be honest. And it felt like every single player in a Celtic shirt was getting opportunities. But one player that was getting more opportunities than others and not taking them was Mikey Johnson. Now, he did get the Celtic goal. He got the third one, so fair enough. He scored a goal, but he did miss more chances than he scored. A lot more, and he should have had multiple goals tonight. He even missed one from the penalty spot as well. He could have made it 5-0, but before he missed the penalty, Celtic made it 4-0. This time it was James Forrest. So we've seen James Forrest in the second half of last season get rejuvenated, showing some of his form from earlier in his career. Will this be another big season for James Forrest? Can he deliver again for Celtic? Who knows? But he got the 4th goal here. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. It could have been double at this point. Celtic are 4-0 up. Probably could have been about 8-0. And I don't even think that's harsh on DC United. They were pretty damn poor. But Johnson did have his penalty saved. And, I mean, this guy was apparently thriving last season. Statistics show that he was scoring goals. He was playing well at West Brom. But, I mean, he looks useless in a Celtic shirt. And we'll see if he's got a future at the club. Brendan Rodgers doesn't appear to be wanting rid of Johnson. I imagine that he will stay this season. I think he will start the season at Celtic, but I mean, he seems to be a different player. West Brom, I mean, he's scoring goals every week, performing, plays for Celtic, absolute crap. So, is what it is. Celtic, I mean, continue to dominate. It was one-way traffic. The game ended at 4-0. Should have been at least, I would say, 6-0, 7-0. I'm struggling to think of it. I mean, there was one chance where DC United had about 10 minutes from the end of the game, but obviously they didn't take it. And if DC United, if they play like this against City and Chelsea, then especially City, I mean, they could be on the receiving end of a really bad scoreline. But tonight was a bad scoreline. I mean, I thought DC United were better than this, but I did look at the standings, and like I said, they are down the bottom of their Eastern Conference, but still, I expected DC United to be better than this. But definitely improvement from Celtic. What we've seen in the Ayr United game and the Queen's Park game didn't look that good, but tonight they did look good, albeit against a pretty poor American opposition, or did Celtic make them look poor? We probably won't really know until we see Celtic take on real competition in the form of Chelsea and Manchester City. But here, what, it was a good win tonight for Celtic. It's definitely the best performance of the season. They're looking good, unlike Rangers, who looked pretty terrible against Manchester United. I mean, at this point, you would have to say Celtic are big favourites for the title, and I would be, I'm not going to say shocked, but I would be surprised if they did not win it. Right now, I think most bookmakers are offering Celtic 1-2 to win the title, and if you have like a spare, if you have a spare 20 grand lying around, that just seems like easy money to make yourself 10k. Is what it is. Celtic, people are complaining about them not spending the war chest. Do they need to spend it? Do they really need to spend it to beat Rangers? I mean, probably not. To do better in the Champions League, yes. I think they would need to spend it, but the problem is with the Champions League, if you're being realistic and honest, Celtic could spend 50 million, and that there's a good chance that still might not be enough to take them to where they want to go. Celtic could spend 50 million on their team this season, and the likelihood is they still wouldn't qualify for the knockout rounds of the Champions League. That's just the reality. So you can kind of see why the board don't spend it. If the board are looking at the team and they're thinking, right, we're good enough to be champions of Scotland, we're good enough to stay ahead of Rangers, we're good enough to continue to win the league that automatically qualifies us for the Champions League, that gets us the European money. I mean, if they're good enough to do that, then why do they need to go and spend the war chest, you know? So, yeah, I know people aren't happy. Celtic will make signings, but to win the league, I don't think they need to. As long as they keep this team together. I mean, if they lose Matt O'Reilly, it will be a big blow, but I'm pretty sure that they will replace him with someone decent if he does go. So, I mean, yeah, last season it's strange. At one point, it did look like Celtic were going to lose the title, but I mean, fast forward the last few months of last season, they opened up the gap and they ended up finishing the season with more points than Rangers actually were behind them when Clement came in, and then. I mean, just seeing both Celtic and Rangers play today, I know it's only pre-season, I know it's a friendly, but you're watching both teams play, and it does look like there's only one winner. But here, it's pre-season. I mean, who knows? Celtic could lose on their next game. You know, they could be on a 4-0 defeat scoreline, and Rangers could win their next friendly, and we could be going, well, Rangers look good and Celtic look poor. But, I mean, right now, I would have to say Celtic are strong favourites, big favourites to win the title. And they played well tonight, so they beat DC United, who were pretty poor, but again, first time I've seen DC United play, maybe Celtic made them look poor. Don't really know. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one. Big win for Celtic, big win for Brendan Rodgers, 2 big goals for Matt O'Reilly. Will those goals, though, will they bring in more interest? Will those goals help Matt O'Reilly out of the club? We'll have to wait and see. Till next time, peace.